The opinions of our panelists do not necessarily reflect those of Bang Zoom Entertainment or Revision3.com. This episode of AnimeTV is brought to you by Gamefly and GoDaddy.com.
Welcome to AnimeTV episode 17.
What's up? It's Jonathan Mesa. I'm back.
I'm Christina V.
And you're watching the only show where we review anime, manga, video games, and Asian pop culture.
Today we're reviewing Sounds of Destruction.
Those destructive sands.
Indeed.
Yeah.
We have some more underexposed for you.
That's right, we're doing Bubblegum Crisis.
And a new segment called Fan Play, which I think you might want to stick around for.
Should be fun. AnimeTV, go!
AnimeTV, go!
All right, guys, it's H to the I to the M to the A. It's HEMA.
HEMA means free time in Japanese.
Free time. That's right. Our expert panelists, they're next door, and they're going to talk about what they've been reading, watching, you know, doing in their free time. But I want to know what you've been doing.
I have been playing Pokemon Heart Gold.
Yeah.
It's the most addicting Pokemon game I've ever played. I think I've clocked in 30 hours so far.
Awesome. Who's your main Pokemon?
My main Pokemon is the grass one. I forgot his name. I named him David.
David, the Pokemon. Let's just send it next.
Hey guys, how you doing? It is HEMA time. So we are going to start off with Tracy, and I want to give you a quick tidbit about Tracy. Her feet don't even touch the floor when she's sitting on the couch. She's so teeny tiny. It's like little feet going, yeah, like that. Anyway, sorry. You're tiny, but you're cute. You're a bundle of energy. So tell us, what are you doing for HEMA?
Well, okay, recently I got to do something really cool, so I thought I would share it with everyone.
You started pole dancing.
Not quite.
Oh, okay. I thought that'd be kind of cool for you guys,
really?
anyway.
I went to, well, everyone knows recently Alice in Wonderland came out, Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland, and I went to the Hot Topic and Disney event that they had, which was like they had a concert for, you know, everyone that was on the Almost Alice soundtrack, and then they also had a costume contest that was judged by Colleen Atwood, who is like the costume designer for the movie, as well as pretty much every other Tim Burton movie. Yeah. And so my friends and I, who are crazy cosplayers, you know, we were like, we have to go. So I just threw together like a closet cosplay of like the Red Queen. I had my hair all up and crazy, and I did like crazy awesome makeup, and my friend did like a female version of the Mad Hatter. And so we went, like the concert was super fun, and then we went across the street to the El Capitan, and we went, you know, we were chosen from a group of people that had dressed up to go and participate in the contest.
Cool.
And so we go in, and all of a sudden, you know, they were handing out like pieces of paper to people who had costumes on that were like pretty epic, you know, yeah. And so we got some. We got to go up on stage. We were like, you know, 10 out of the whole theater that was filled.
Wow.
And we met Colleen Atwood, and she, you know, basically, like, we won. Those 10 people that were on stage won, and we were, like, this close to her. She's like,
Is she
you know,
crazy? I'm imagining what's inside her mind. I mean, she's like, hey, I'm going to make some costumes for the next Tim Burton show.
I know, right?
You know what I mean?
No, but she's very, like, she was just very normal looking, you know. She didn't dress outlandish or anything, you know. But there's more to the story.
Do it.
Okay, you ready? So we got our like Hot Topic gift cards, and I got my Alice in Wonderland sweatshirt, which is the prize, you know. But so we go to sit down, right? And we're like, okay, what happens next? And they told us maybe we'd see a couple previews, you know, like some extra footage. The movie hadn't come out at this point. And it gets really quiet, and the lights go off. And then Johnny Depp and Tim Burton come out on stage. We were in the front row. Johnny Depp was like 2 feet away. Like, I could like touch him.
Did you touch him? You were like, Johnny Depp, I want to meet you.
No.
Not so much,
I mean, they looked a little bit frightened too, because we were all like on our feet screaming, but everyone was really cool. Everyone was, you know, being very respectful, and they just came out, and you know, Tim Burton was kind of introducing the preview that they were going to show, but Johnny Depp looked at me, and he looked at my friend Lisa, and he was like, awesome. And he said it into the microphone. He pointed at us. He waved like, Johnny Depp knows I exist. And Tim Burton too. No, it was amazing. It was really cool. I mean, and you know, they never get that close to their fans anymore because they're so untouchable. Yeah. You know, so that was cool. And then they said, you guys are going to get to see the entire movie.
Wow.
And so we saw a preview of Alice in Wonderland before anyone else saw it. Cool. And we were like the first group of general public that got to see it.
Nice.
And yeah, it was the coolest night ever. So yeah.
And you didn't throw your panties at him. That was an opportune time to do it. You could have just been like,
no, no.
It was right there.
I was in a cosplay, man. I had to stay.
You weren't wearing undies then?
No, of course I was.
Okay.
But you know,
Red Queen undies.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I wonder what those look like. Anyway.
Great story.
Laura, that's amazing. That's a great opportunity. Only in LA, only in Hollywood can that happen.
I know. We're lucky.
So, Laura, talk to me.
Not as exciting as that.
You can't quite top that.
No, but I have been watching a new show, and it's not an anime though. Thanks.
Tuck you in there.
Tuck me in. It's a new show, and it's on Comedy Central. It's a cartoon. It's not an anime. It's a cartoon. And it's called Ugly Americans.
So it's an animated series,
it's
as
a
we
cartoon,
define it, okay?
Yeah, no, this is definitely a cartoon. You know what it reminds me of? Because you haven't seen it yet. Did you ever watch The Head on MTV's Oddities, like a long time ago? You know what I'm talking about?
I'm so sorry. It sounded like a movie I'd seen before. Anyway, it's under my bed somewhere.
No, this was a cartoon series as well. It was part of MTV's Oddities. It came out kind of the same time as Eon Flux. Anyway, all right.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know, but The Head was kind of this odd character, and that's what kind of got me to. It's kind of grotesque looking, and the animation reminded me of that. So I was like, ooh, what's this? And it's on Wednesdays after South Park. So of course I'm watching South Park, and then what's next? This show is awesome. It's about this social worker in New York City. His name's Mark Lilly, and he's a normal human, but he has a wizard boss, he has a demon girlfriend, he has a zombie roommate, and Mark works as a social worker helping all these creatures adapt to life in the Big Apple.
So the setting is New York, America.
New York City,
okay. But
there's vampires, werewolves.
It's like crazy town.
It's crazy. You would really like it.
Huh. I'll have to check it out.
It's naughty. It's a naughty.
I'll definitely check it out.
It's not for kids. It's not for kids. And it's funny and weird. And I read, I think Comedy Central ordered 7 episodes of it, and I really hope that it does well because I really like it. I want it to keep going. I want it to be a hit, and it's really good.
It follows South Park, so can it really fail? I mean, they're going to have viewers whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, I left the TV on as I made Hot Pockets, so there it is. You know, It's like they watched it. They were eating Hot Pockets, but they watched it.
And the good thing about it is like, particularly with this week, the Ugly Americans episode was funnier than the South Park episode.
Oh, wow.
I thought so
that's
anyway.
hard to do, especially in your book.
South Park can be hit or miss sometimes.
Who's your favorite character?
On Ugly Americans?
Yeah.
Mark Lilly, the human social worker, because he's very cute. Of course. He's my new ideal man. I would date him.
All right.
But he's dating the daughter of the devil. That's the demon girlfriend.
I definitely think I need to check this out.
Yeah,
that sounds
really
great.
Like it. You would really like it.
I was going to watch Eden of the East, but I realized it wasn't just a movie, it was longer than I thought, so I didn't have a chance to finish it. Then I was going to watch Brave Story because it was a shorter, based on a video game, which is what we're going to be reviewing later on, based on a video game. And I thought, no, it's too old. So I picked up Summer Wars, and it was released, I think, last year. Have you seen this? Have you seen Summer Wars? Okay, I got to tell you once again, this appeals to everyone. It is a film. It's 115 minutes long. It made me laugh, and maybe because it was 6 in the morning, it made me cry. Like, you know, I mean, there's just some really sad things that happen, and there's some really, really funny things happen. There's drama, there's action. What it's about is about a guy named Kenji who has the hots for this girl who's the hottest girl in school, and she asked these 2 nerdy guys, Kenji and his friend, if they can help her do a job. And the job is to go and pretend to be her boyfriend because her grandmother's birthday is coming up. Aww. And she promised her, like, 90-year-old grandmother that she would bring her suitor-to-be if she didn't die on her. So basically, he brings her along, or she brings him along, and he goes, and he's like super excited, and she's like, when he gets there, he realizes that he is supposed to pretend to be the boyfriend, and
She
anyway,
doesn't let him in on it?
no, until they get there, and they're in front of grandmother, and she goes, he's my boyfriend, and he's like, what? Anyway, in the end, it's not even really about that. That's just setting up the story. He's a mathematician, and someone sends him a text code, and he solves it in a overnight. And basically what it does is it unlocks this key in a virtual world that all of the nations use to do water and power, nuclear, kind of like the Matrix. He unlocks the Matrix sort of a thing. And all these little avatars are being taken over by this virus. And he has to fight that. And it's funny. I'm just, you know what? Believe me, I don't usually lie. Watch the show. It's called Summer Wars. It won an award. It was done by the same director, I think, as The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. And that won an award too. So they're doing something right, and definitely check that out. It's easy. It's 150 minutes long, and it has a little bit of everything. And it won awards, so it can't be that bad, right?
So it's a movie.
It's a movie,
Okay.
yeah. It's really short.
All right,
And-
so your movie, I hope, Comedy Central, if you're watching, keep ugly Americans. It's great.
She's pleading, please.
Please keep ugly Americans. I love it.
We have another Adventures in Cosplay over
Yeah.
here.
Johnny
So-
Depp, we like you too.
Yes. And now we're back to the studio.
Coming up next on Anime TV, Jonathan Mesa is going to review an underexposed title called Bubblegum Crisis, so stick around.
Gamefly is the largest online video game rental service and offers you a choice from over 7,000 new and classic titles across all handhelds and consoles. With plans starting at $15.95 a month, Gamefly members can rent 1 to 4 games at a time and keep them for as long as they like. There are no late fees, no due dates, and shipping is always free. Once you're done playing a game, send it back and Gamefly will send you the next available game on your list. If you really like the game you're playing, simply click Keep It on the Gamefly website and the game is yours at a discounted price. Gamefly will even mail you the case and manuals free of charge. Anime TV fans get a 15-day free trial when they go to gamefly.com/anime.
So now it's time for Underexposed, starring Jonathan. He's going to talk about a title today that maybe was pushed under the radar or you just haven't heard about.
That's right, I pulled it out from underneath my bed, and we are talking about Bubblegum Crisis. So off I go.
Bye.
So why is this such a good underexposed title? Why is Bubblegum Crisis good? And I'll tell you why. It was scheduled for 13 episodes. It ended up being 8 episodes. Why? Legal battles, because of Umex and Artmic, the 2 companies who sort of owned the rights to this, ended up having a legal battle about it, and it got cut short. And also, it did poorly in Japan, which was probably why they wanted to cut it short, but it did better in America. But yet it's still sort of like unknown by most circles. Bubblegum Crisis, guys, is a hugely incredible, awesome anime that was totally missed. And I feel bad because I was watching it again. I watched it when I was a kid. I was watching it again and I realized how good it is. Created in 1991, it had an artistic style that was well beyond its years. It looks really nice. It looks really clean. And the design of it is just pristine. Now I'm gonna get into the story a little bit. Here we go. Bubblegum Crisis is set in a post-apocalyptic Japan in Mega Tokyo. And there's this company called Genome, and they're sort of doing bad things, sort of trying to take over, gain power. What do men with power want? More power? That's the idea. So the police are ill-equipped to sort of deal with these villains who use boomers, or what they're called. They're like androids, but they're just more like robots who look like humans, but they're not really human robots. And so the police can't really deal with them. The only people who could really deal with these boomers are the Night Sabers, who are our heroes, our protagonists, if you will. And they're 4 women who are incredibly hot. Guys, the women in this are really hot, like 80s hot. They got like a butt, and they're like, ta-ta! Anyways, so designed very nice. So these women have these suits, and mech suits, and they're basically really powerful, and they could really take out these boomers and sort of deal with situations, so they're hired as mercenaries. But they've got hearts, and they're not out there just doing bad things, they're doing the right things for money. Really incredible stuff. Let's see, the soundtrack for this anime is unique because every single episode has a song that was created for the episode. So it starts off with this song, and there's 8 different songs for every, I mean, it's incredible. Guys, the soundtrack is unique, it's good, it'll really revive the 80s spirit in your souls, and if there's no 80s spirit in your soul, then there will be after watching this anime. Great music, great design, hot women, awesome mech action, cool battle scenes. Aside from it being a little slow at times, and that's very brief, this anime is incredible, and guys, it just got swept under the rug. I feel bad. Anyways, you could find this through Animigo. They digitally remastered it in 2004. Get online, check it out. Very cool stuff, guys. I'm really excited by this one. This is the reason why we do Underexposed. This is it, Bubblegum Crisis. Check it out today, God.
Coming up next on AnimeTV, a feisty heroine, a hungry and reluctant hero, and a tough-talking teddy bear all possess the power to destroy the world. We're reviewing Sounds of Destruction next.
Web hosting from GoDaddy.com includes 99.9% uptime, 24/7 support, and free access to hosting connection. The place to install over 30 free applications sure to help you get the most from your hosting plan and website. For 10% off your order, just punch in the code ATV8.
In a world of beastmen, humans are second-class citizens. A young boy named Kyrie is a human disguising himself as a beastman until he is exposed by a fugitive named Morte. Now, with the power to destroy the world, they are both on the run from a mysterious organization called the World Salvation Committee.
That's right, this title, The Sands of Destruction, is brought to you by Funimation, so you can pick it up through them. And I want to find out what this thing's all about.
So here's the clip.
From the minds at Sega. In a world gone bad, these heroes live by their own rules. Ferocious beastmen are on the rampage, and life is hard in a world that's not worth saving. Everything must go. Sega and Funimation have joined forces to bring you a new series based on the game. Available exclusively for the Nintendo DS.
Keep your mouth shut and I won't take your head off.
Watch the anime, play the game, destroy the world. Sands of Destruction, the complete series.
The Sands of Destruction. Yeah, so Sands of Destruction. No, it's like a really like, the Sands of Destruction. We are, you know, like, it's like, oh, gotta pick up that title. It sounds like, you know, awesome. So Sands of Destruction, what's it about? Morte, or Mort. She's a
warrior?
Well, I was gonna say member of the World Destruction Committee, but she's the only member of the World Destruction Committee, and she enlists two unwilling at first comrades to join her in destroying the world.
With a black ball.
With a black ball. Yeah. Well, I said, you know, they finally joined her. They unwillingly joined her along the way, and the whole world basically is set up as a Planet of the Apes style, where beast men rule man. Of course, the men can talk, and they're not, you know, they don't have their throats slit or anything like that, where their vocal cords are still intact. You know, Planet of the Apes style. You know, I'm old, okay?
No,
anyway, so it's very Planet of the Apes meets Dune, because there's a lot of sand, seas of sand, and that's kind of the gist of the story. And then what happens? Do they destroy the world? Well, we'll talk about that later.
13 episodes.
13 episodes, and it came out in the end. You know, the video. It's based on a video game by Sega, and for Nintendo DS. It was an RPG. I never actually played that because I didn't have a DS, and yeah. So it was based on a video game by Sega that came out in September of 2008. And the DVD was released in America. The anime was released at the end of January this year. So it's relatively new in the States. I actually saw it at Best Buy and was tempted to pick it up, but I was glad that we got to review on the show later on. So, initial thoughts, Laura, what did you think? Laura.
Okay, so the first episode opened with a drink at the bar. It's, you know, whiskey or something strong. Drinks it, puts it down, pulls back. It's a teddy bear. So first episode, after that, I was like, oh yes, an alcoholic teddy bear. This is
Who
a
can
show.
Hate that?
Yeah.
Who can hate that?
This show's gonna be great. oh, it's a show after my own heart. No. After the first episode, it was all downhill. If the show had been about an alcoholic teddy bear, I would have really liked it. But the teddy bear turned out to not be an alcoholic, and he turned out to be really annoying because he says kuma
the whole time.
Every sentence,
Yeah.
kuma, because that's part of his culture, his pride, heritage to the bears.
Yeah.
But the first episode, there's a cat, little cat soldiers.
The cat tribe.
The cat tribe, that was funny. So I thought, okay, this is gonna be good. And no, just after that, just boring after the first episode. I will say, if you're looking to understand what this is about or what it kind of reminded me of, did you ever watch when you were a kid Zoobly Zoo?
Yeah. Zoobly Zoo.
Zoobly
Yeah,
Zoo.
okay.
This show is like if the characters of Zoobly Zoo broke out of their Zoobly Zoo and began breeding with the world and enslaved the human race.
Yeah.
That's what this show
That would be
is.
very freaking scary.
That is Zoobly Zoo. It's
Yeah.
I was like, it's Zoobly Zoo world. Ah!
I'd have to be very high for that to actually be enjoyable. So what initial thoughts, what'd you think?
You know, yeah, I mean, I'm not quite as down on it as you are. I did enjoy it a little bit. It's silly and it's kind of cheesy, and it was hard for me to kind of get on board with a lot of like the sea is sand and things swim in sand, and I don't know. It's just very, you know, the animals are very just kind of cheesy, but I did enjoy it. For me, it's like generic. Like it's not anything I'm really gonna remember. It's not gonna stick out in my mind, you know. Like
You're never gonna rewatch this one.
Utterly forgettable is how I would describe
and
this
it reminded
anime.
me, like, it felt a little bit like Pokemon and like Slayers, and kind of how they like walk around and they're this troop of friends who get into adventures and they meet new people at every town. Every episode, they go to a different village or different town and they meet new characters and things happen. And I mean, there's themes.
Like mini stories within the, but no, it's normal.
Yeah, it just wasn't. There was nothing compelling about. I got very bored with it, and
I liked Leah.
Yeah,
she was fun.
There were some of it was fun, but I will say that, and because the story was so bad, I felt, and not compelling, I started to really hate the animation and really think that the animation was bad. But
see, I thought it was well done.
Well, the animation was done by Production IG, and they're no slouch when it comes to anime. They did Holic, they did Eden of the East, which I looked up, and I know Mile is like going, yeah. She loves Holic, and anyway, so they have a long list of stuff that they've worked on. So I mean, this might have been one of their throwaway.
No, I'm not saying the animation was bad. I'm saying the story.
Okay.
When the story is bad,
it makes you not
hate
care.
like look at Shin-Chan. That animation is. I saw the animation for that. I was like, oh god, that I'm never gonna watch it. The story is great. The character's great. I love the animation.
Right. You can forego the fact that the style is not yours.
We know that good animation a good show does not make, and bad animation a bad show does not make. If the story, characters, and the interest and the fun are all there, then you start to like the animation. But with this show, with the crappy story about the world destruct code, and I just started to hate the animation more and more. I was like, God, I hate that animation. I hate the
What did
story.
you think of the?
I hate that teddy bear.
What did you think of the character design? Did you think, like, as far as the teddy bear and the other beast men, did you think that they were corny? Like she was saying, they were corny looking.
One of them looked just mismatched. There was a tail coming. He had ears and a tail. But I think I was just such in a sour mood at that point that I was picking it apart.
My one complaint about the character design is that, you know, they're trying to go unnoticed in a town, you know, and she's wearing leather thigh highs, a giant purple bow, and a pink, you know, cloak, and I'm like, how are you? You know, I play Dungeons and Dragons, and like if I was a rogue, I would be wearing a cloak and perhaps, you know, have my sword painted, you know, with a weapon black, you know, so that they can't see anything. And here she is, like, you know, don't look at me. I'm no one out of the ordinary. And I'm like, you're not trying to stick out like a sore thumb. It's like wearing a negligee out in the mall. Like, you're not gonna, don't look at me, I'm not wearing this negligee.
And her weapon, it's like this big, and it's wrapped up, but it's like slung behind her back. And
if you don't want that attention, don't wear that provocative clothing.
I have another thing that I had a problem with as far as the character design. I mean, I thought it was fun, it was playful. The cat tribe was funny.
Yeah,
I thought the alligator master was funny. He had some good lines. I thought as far as the accessories were just accessories for accessories' sake. Like, we're gonna put gloves on Kirei, and one glove. So he's either doing a tribute to Michael Jackson because there's no real function for having a glove, or the fact that Morte, she has floating earrings. And I drew a picture of it because you will know what I'm talking about. And bear with me, but for some reason, they decided that she's gonna have anti-gravity earrings in the, you know, it just kind of just hangs there. There's no, you know, she's using like fishing wire or something. I don't know. But the point was it was so distracting to me because there's so many side shots of her talking to somebody, and the earrings just damn floating in the air. I'm like, what are you doing? Attention to detail, and I'm nitpicking, but yeah, I was really, I was just totally trying to like pick it apart a little bit, just because I couldn't think of anything, you know, that I thought as far as the style that was bad. What about the story? You hated the story.
The ending message was fine, which was you have to be the change you want to see in the world. That was nice. That
was fair.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
It was nice, and their spoiler.
Yeah, go ahead.
At the, you know, you see the journey of the boy and the girl together, you know, getting closer and all that. I don't know.
What did you think of the story?
The
writing?
Think it was very predictable.
Yeah.
I think that's what I think. I mean, it was for kids, maybe it's cute, and I did enjoy it. I mean, I was watching it like 2 in the morning. I did get a little teary-eyed at a couple moments because I'm a sap, like anything, you know.
Right.
But overall, yeah, predictable but okay. I'm at okay.
Utterly forgettable.
I thought the writing, for me, the story, there were some lines in there that I was like, I don't understand. Maybe it was a lost in translation. Someone says, I don't care if you're the World Destruct Committee or the PTA. And I was like, there's a Parent-Teachers Association in the Isle of Beastmen?
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand that, so like I said, maybe it was lost in translation, so I'm not exactly sure. There's another line that was like, when in Rome, do as the Romans do, was another line they threw out there, and I was like, that could have been easily translated into, do as the locals do when you're in a new town. But they said, when in Rome. I was like, so Rome also exists, or this figure of speech exists. You know what I mean? As far as the writing goes.
We'll fix that when they do like the English dub.
But yeah, well, I don't know. That episode I particularly watched in Japanese.
I watched it in Japanese.
I watched Japanese. Yeah. I did like the Japanese voiceover work. I thought it was good, especially in the first episode.
Did you watch it in English, either of you?
No.
Okay.
I watched it on Funimation. It was in Japanese. I was hoping to.
I watched the first 3 in English and then switched over to Japanese. I have to give a shout out to a couple people. Robert McCullum is the voice of Baki the Grappler, which you would dig. You like Baki, right? He played Toppy. It was okay. Lucy Christian, she plays Mort. Okay. But the real props go to Todd Haberkorn because I totally poo-pooed his performance in Tower of Duraga as Jill, but this time it worked. He was and it wasn't just him delivering the lines, it was all the subtle, the little moans and the wheezes and the I'm hiding, those kind of worked so well for his character in this, and that's just talking about the dub. So it was a fair dub. I'm not saying it blew me out of the water, but I had to give props to Todd Haberkorn for that particular, you know, voice that he lent to the show. So we're going to talk about overall. What did you think?
Overall, yeah, predictable, kind of a generic anime for me. But I did definitely enjoy some aspects of it. And I didn't talk about the music at all yet. I wanted to mention just a couple things. I thought that the songs were pretty good. I especially liked the ending song. By Amy.
If that's how we say it, we don't want to
AIMMY, but that's not her real name. It's either her band name or her stage name. I think she's coming out as a solo artist now, but she used to be with Jukai. And her name was Manami, I'm gonna butcher it, Watanabe, something like that.
Sure.
I sing in Japanese, but I can't speak in Japanese.
She's doing the Pussycat Dolls thing now. She's like breaking out, and she's like, I'm doing my own thing.
I guess. I mean, she was great in Jukai, but it was more soft, kind of like a soft pop rock, I guess, like lots of ballads. And this one is a ballad, but her single, which is called Blue Vibration, I think, is a total fun kind of like electro, like a pop.
And you like that? You like that kind of synthy pop thing?
Yes, and she's got like these bunnies, like in the music video, like these guys in like bunny heads and like bunny arms playing as her band. And I don't know if they're really her band or just like guys she hired to be bunnies, but it was a cool video. She's cool. I like her.
What do you think of the opening song by AAA?
AAA Zero. It was good. You know what's really funny is when you watch the anime and you listen to the song, you're like, okay, this is the kind of song it is. And then it stops and you watch the anime, you just get that little snippet of the song. But I went and watched the music video and it changed, like they freaking rap. Like they start like rapping but there's like parts where the girls are singing and it's all soft and pretty. Like it's a very dynamic song, which is cool. And I guess, you know, they're like a band of guys and girls. So you've got like 5 guys.
They're a crew.
Yes.
C-R-U-umlaut-E.
No, they totally are. And they're all like super cute too in the video. They're all.
I always think it's so funny. I think it's just a personal taste thing, how people care about the song in the opening.
Well, you know,
And
because it gets you into it. It gets you into it.
No.
I'm like, hell yeah!
No,
I'm like, I'm so into it. Yeah.
Yeah, some of them do, some of them don't. And you know, some of them sound like I can love an anime, but it can open with the stupidest song.
Oh no, totally.
And you know, and I never care. This song, you know, that some Japanese pop star is singing in the beginning and the end has nothing to do with the anime.
Sometimes you don't
usually
watch the song, you like fast forward.
it doesn't. It usually there are some really.
Especially if you're power watching anything, you're like, I've seen the song once. That's all it needs to be. Song. Yeah.
Yeah, I always usually skip over the song. But I'm glad that you bring that perspective.
She's our music girl. She's our music girl.
I don't know. I try.
Let me see if I missed anything.
Was my final thoughts?
No, not yet.
Oh, my final thoughts are, I will never watch this anime again. If they made a show about an alcoholic teddy bear, I would watch that. Kuma.
That actually is very funny because Kuma,
Yeah.
that's throughout the entire series.
Yeah.
Okay, and we got your final thoughts, sort of. Did we wrap that up? I wanted.
Zibbly Zoo. That was my final.
Yeah, on
Zibbly
crack. I wanted to say that there are some really funny lines. You know, there's a time when the alligator master, and like I said, I don't know if this is exactly translated into English the way they wanted it to, but the eagle master says to the alligator master, he says, "Have you found the World Destruction Committee?" And he's like, "If I knew where they were, I wouldn't be standing here with my thumb up my butt." And I just thought that was the funniest thing to have an alligator with the, anyway. And he's wearing like something like a George Washington wig.
Yeah.
It's fun. I think it's fun for fun's sake. Is the story something we may have seen before? End of the world, possibly. But, you know, as a spoiler for this end, it's the main character trying to destroy the world. So they're not trying to defeat the evil god that's destroying the world. They themselves are on a mission to destroy the world. So there's a little bit of difference in the play on the story at the end. And then you have to find out what happens. So, I mean, I think it's fun for fun's sake. It's definitely more for a younger audience. But I mean, if you're a parent and you're showing your kids this, I would say episode 12 and 13, they really get into some heavy like gunplay where people are falling down and getting shot, and mowed down, in fact. It was all this stuff where it was like, yay, it's fun. Then it was like, and people were like,
kitties get killed in the first episode.
but they kind of get swallowed, so they could get pooped out later. Yeah, and they're evil kitties, and no one really likes them. And they don't like get torn apart or anything. They just get like, whoop, whoop. Anyway,
later.
So look out for you know, Sands of Destruction. It's probably on shelves now, and it's done by Funimation. And that's our review for you. AnimeTV.
So Sands of Destruction, what did you think?
I thought it was an anime. I enjoyed it when I was watching it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it was an anime, people.
Yes.
That's about it. We have something that is much cooler. It's Fan Play, a brand new segment hosted by you.
Yes, my first own segment.
Oh, yeah.
How exciting. It's a segment where you get to be the star. So dress up in cosplay and tell us what your favorite anime is, who your favorite anime character is, and why.
That's right. All you have to do is go to goanimetv.com and click on Fan Play. Really easy.
Yeah, so next week is Heroic Age. Found us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. I am Christina V.
I'm Jonathan Messa.
AnimeTV, go!
If you want to go, blood.
Blood. Blood. Blood. You're watching AnimeTV. We're going to tie in like that. Hey, welcome to the show. Right. Come here. In this room, over here, with people. And it's on anime. It's great stuff. Check it out.
No.
Bang Zoom.